Hi, today we're back at Smugglers Beach in Yarmouth, Massachusetts. We're on Cape Cod and we're right next to the Bass River. We found some great things here if you want to look down. Let's start over here. Yesterday I found some egg casings of a channeled whelk. This one today looks more like the egg casings of a knobbed whelk. So that would be this little guy. It's tough to see. I think that's a knobbed whelk. It's so tiny. Um, but yeah, see how it looks more like a bottle cap? And again, the babies are inside each little section. And if they look like they're still fresh, I like to throw them back. Otherwise, sometimes when they dry out, they're not going to survive. But I just wanted to show you how important all the seaweed is for these different critters that hang on to the seaweed. This got tangled up in the seaweed. This is Codium fragile. I believe that's the Latin. And then we can also call it dead man's fingers, which is really cool, right? That's in my seaweed book. Um, but yeah, the seaweed, the shells, they all sort of need each other to anchor themselves down in the water. Here you can see a bunch of slipper shells stacked up on each other. Again, if you want to come back here, there's a beautiful northern moon snail. Pretty good size on that. The colors are a little bland, but it might, clean up nicely. Nice driftwood. And check these out. These are the tails of the horseshoe crab. So they're really fragile. So if you find a horseshoe crab alive, don't ever pick it up by the end. What you want to do is take two hands and go on each side because you can break those tails off. Now, all of the horseshoe crabs we found so far were all dead. It was just the shell of the horseshoe crab, and they have little eyes, one here, one there, and I believe they have a couple in the front of the shell, and I think they might have a couple in the back or underneath. They have quite a few, but I love these eyes. Those are the coolest. This is one of the most ancient creatures around here. He was around before the dinosaur. Not this particular one, but the species, right? So anyways, very cool. Horseshoe crab. Let me show you underneath, although we lost all the legs. Okay. And then we have some nice driftwood, a fishbone. Here's a nice channeled whelk. See? It doesn't have like those bumps on it. Like this one looks like it's a baby knobbed whelk. And I found a fishbone. It kind of stinks, but I like finding fish bones. And there's a lot of fishing that goes on here. There's a nice fishing pier, so that's pretty much half of the course. But this is kind of neat. Now this looks like peat with a hole in it, just like um like sand that's been compacted. I'm wondering if that's how you guys find those hagstones. Does it turn into stone? Anyways, if anyone knows, tell me. Some nice crab claws. We look like we got a Jonah crab and maybe a lady crab claw. You can see how one is kind of wide, one is long, and it's kind of scary. And then over here, some nice barnacles. I like finding barnacles. And I found several pieces of sea scallops. I don't often see the deep sea scallops. They're the big flat shell. See? I found a bunch of pieces. Soft shell clam, piece of a quahog. You can see that beautiful blue purple. This is a rib mussel. The rib mussel likes more the quiet brackish waters, the river, right? The Bass River or the salt marsh. And then here we have some jackknife clams or Atlantic razor clams. Okay. Or they're called common jackknife clams. And then this was a cool find. I did not expect to find a false angel wing out here. I think this is the first time I found one down here on Nantucket Sound. So very pretty. Oh, I love those angel wings. And then these are the most common shells you're going to find here. Beautiful bay scallops, right? There's some really pretty ones. Some are a little more dull, but that's fine. They're really pretty. This cute little one, right? And then the blood arks. And you see the blood arks have holes in them. That's most likely from the northern moon snail because they like to eat a lot of the shellfish that's out here, a lot of the mollusks. And then we have some nice jingle shells, right? And I wanted to show you, can you see this? You often get one half of the bivalve is a pretty color. And then the underneath is the one that looks like a toenail. We used to call them toenails, pirate toenails. mermaid toenails. Anyways, that one is the one that looks kind of nasty, and it used the one that they put threads through here to attach to rocks and other shells. Again, to ache them in the water. Look at this one. It's a really blue one. That's unusual. And then we have some pretty slipper snails, one of the most common shells out here, one of the most common snails or mollusks. The slipper snails. This shell just got really pitted by something. Oh, and here's a flat slipper shell. And here's one with some nice barnacles, and you can see they're empty. So I could keep that one. I wouldn't worry about it. And then this is kind of cool. So I found a couple eastern oysters, but I wanted you to see this one. Look at that one. So, and you don't often find them together, the two, like the two halves, the two valves, and you can see where the oyster attached itself. But it's covered in these barnacles, which is always neat, right? We love that stuff. And then I found a bunch of toys and a bunch of trash. I threw away the trash. I kept some of these toys. And what I hate seeing is that I see a lot of balloon ribbons. So, please be careful with balloons, because even though you could be 2 states in, miles and miles away, they seem to find their way to the sea. I don't know how they do it, but they fly. So anyways, gorgeous, gorgeous morning. And again, we're on Smugglers Beach in Yarmouth. So many nice seashells, but again, a lot of them just belong as part of the beach, right? So we'll leave a lot of them. Thanks for joining me again. Bye for now.